This video is for educational purposes only and does not constitute professional medical advice. Please consult with your doctor or a qualified healthcare specialist before starting any new vitamins or supplements mentioned in this video. Use of this information is at your own risk. Your muscles are being stolen from you. It isn't a slow, graceful decline. It is a calculated biological theft that accelerates every single morning you wake up. Right now, as you sit there, your body might be dismantling its own foundation, the very fibers that allow you to stand, walk, and embrace your loved ones, just to find the raw materials it needs to keep your heart beating. This is the brutal reality of muscle wasting after 60. It is a silent emergency that most people mistake for just getting old until the day they realize they can no longer get out of a deep sofa or lift a bag of groceries without a struggle. Once that threshold is crossed, your world begins to shrink. Your independence evaporates, replaced by a haunting fear of falling and a growing reliance on others. It is a path that leads to a chair you cannot leave and a life you no longer recognize. Welcome to Elder Fit Nutrition. It's a pleasure to have you with us today. We are here to confront these hard truths and provide the biological keys to reclaiming your strength. If you find this information vital for your journey or the health of someone you love, please subscribe to the channel. Your support gives us the motivation to continue creating these deep dive guides into senior health and longevity. The tragedy of muscle loss at this stage of life is that it happens in the dark. You don't feel the fibers thinning, you don't hear the cells crying out. But there is a way to pull back the curtain. There is a way to see exactly how much time you have left before your mobility reaches a point of no return. This is not about the size of your biceps or the definition in your legs. It is about functional survival. In the medical world, we look for signs of sarcopenia, the clinical term for muscle melting. And there is one specific high-stakes test you can perform right now in your own living room that will tell you more about your future than any scale or mirror ever could. It is a test of raw power and neurological connection. I want you to prepare yourself. This isn't just a fun exercise. It is a diagnostic moment that should shake you into action if the results aren't what they should be. Most people over 60 fail this test within the first 10 seconds because their mind-to-muscle connection has become a frayed wire. They have the frame of a house, but the support beams have been eaten away by years of inactivity and poor cellular signaling. Before this video ends, I will reveal the 3 specific drinks that can act as a biological restart for these beams. But first, you must face the reality of where you stand. To stimulate your thoughts on this journey of self-preservation, I have a question for you to answer in the comments below. Think deeply about your daily life and your future. A. Do you believe that losing strength is an inevitable, natural part of aging that we must simply accept? Do you believe that with the right biological triggers and nutrition, your body can remain strong and capable well into your 80s and 90s? Please comment A or B below. Your interaction helps us understand your perspective and keeps this community of health-conscious seniors growing. To understand why those 3 drinks are so transformative, we must first look into the engine room of your biology. After the age of 60, something fundamental changes in the way your body perceives the world. You could eat the same steak, perform the same walk, and take the same vitamins you did at 30, but the results would be vastly different. This is because of a phenomenon known as anabolic resistance. Imagine your muscle cells have doors that allow nutrients and growth signals to enter. When you are young, these doors are wide open, swinging freely at the slightest hint of protein or movement. But as the decades pass, the hinges on these doors begin to rust. They become heavy, stubborn, and eventually they lock shut. This is the anabolic resistance wall. You are eating protein, but your muscles aren't seeing it. Your body is effectively starving in the midst of plenty. Because the muscle cells cannot hear the signal to grow or repair, the body assumes that the muscle tissue is no longer needed. It begins a process of autophagy, self-eating, where it breaks down your precious leg and arm muscles to harvest amino acids for other, more critical organs. This is why you see seniors who seem to be shrinking or whose skin appears to hang loosely where firm muscle once lived. It isn't just a lack of calories. It is a total breakdown in cellular communication. The construction workers inside your body have stopped receiving the blueprints, so they have stopped building. This resistance is driven by deep-seated inflammation and a decline in mitochondrial health. Your mitochondria are the tiny power plants inside every cell. In a person over 60, these power plants are often clogged with the soot of a lifetime of metabolic stress. They become inefficient, leaking toxic byproducts that further damage the muscle fibers. When your energy production is low, your body refuses to invest in expensive tissue like muscle. It enters a survival mode, prioritizing fat storage and minimal energy expenditure. This creates a vicious cycle. You feel tired because your muscles are weak, so you move less. Because you move less, your anabolic resistance worsens and your muscles wither even faster. Breaking through this wall requires more than just eating more. It requires a specific chemical key that can force those rusted doors back open. It requires signaling molecules that tell the body, we are not in survival mode, we are in building mode. Most people try to fight this with standard supplements or generic advice, but they are using the wrong tools for a very specific age-related lock. The 3 drinks we are about to discuss are not just healthy beverages. They are designed to address the specific biological bottlenecks of the 60-plus body: the inflammation, the mitochondrial decay, and the blunted protein signaling. By understanding that your body is not failing you, but rather waiting for the right signal, you can begin to reverse the narrative of decline. This is about changing the very chemistry of your aging process. Now that we have identified the invisible wall of anabolic resistance, we must deploy the specific biological keys to unlock your potential. We have identified 3 distinct liquids that act as catalysts for muscle reclamation, ranked by their ability to penetrate the cellular barriers of a 60-plus body. The third pillar of this strategy is pure pomegranate juice. While many see it as a simple antioxidant, the true power lies in a compound called urolithin A. As you age, your muscle cells become cluttered with zombie mitochondria, power plants that no longer produce energy but refuse to die, creating a toxic sludge that prevents new muscle growth. Pomegranate juice, when processed by the right gut bacteria, triggers a process called mitophagy, which effectively clears out this cellular debris. It is the janitor of your muscular system, making room for the strength to return. However, it sits at number 3 because its effectiveness depends heavily on your internal microbiome, making it a powerful but variable foundational tool. Rising to the second rank is slow-simmered bone broth. After 60, muscle loss is often exacerbated by the literal drying out of your connective tissues. Your tendons and fascia, the silver skin that wraps and supports every muscle fiber, become brittle like old parchment. When these tissues are weak, your body refuses to build muscle because the frame cannot support the weight. Bone broth is a liquid goldmine of type 2 collagen, glycine, and proline. It acts as a biological lubricant and structural reinforcement, ensuring that the hooks your muscles hang on are strong and resilient. Drinking this in the late afternoon provides the steady stream of nitrogen your body needs to stay in an architectural state rather than a destructive one. It turns a fragile frame into a fortified fortress. Finally, the undisputed gold standard for reversing muscle decay is a high-quality whey isolate infused with a therapeutic dose of Ceylon cinnamon. This is not about bodybuilding. It is about survival chemistry. Whey isolate is the most concentrated source of leucine, the only amino acid capable of forcing the mortal lock of anabolic resistance. Think of leucine as the finger that flips the master power switch in your muscle cells. But the secret weapon here is the cinnamon. By the age of 60, many of us have developed a degree of insulin resistance, meaning the protein we eat gets diverted to fat stores instead of muscle fibers. Cinnamon increases your muscle's sensitivity to insulin, acting as a specialized courier that ensures every gram of leucine is delivered directly into the thirsty fibers of your thighs and arms. This combination is the ultimate biological intervention, turning the tide from atrophy to recovery. The restoration of your physical autonomy is not a marathon. It is a disciplined 14-day tactical strike. To bypass the years of metabolic sluggishness, you must follow a protocol that aligns with your body's natural circadian rhythms of repair. Every morning, your first act of defiance against aging begins with the master switch. Within 30 minutes of waking, or better yet, after a brief period of light movement like a walk or gentle stretching, consume your whey isolate with cinnamon. This timing is critical. Your body wakes up in a catabolic state, literally consuming itself for energy. By introducing leucine and cinnamon early, you halt this self-cannibalization and signal to your cells that the famine is over and the building phase has begun. This is the most important window of your day, the moment you decide whether you will shrink or grow. As you move into the afternoon, the focus shifts from signaling to structural support. This is when you introduce your bone broth or your pomegranate extract. During these middle hours, your metabolism is most active, and your body is looking for the raw materials to repair the micro damage of daily life. By providing collagen and mitochondrial cleansers during this period, you are essentially providing the mortar for the bricks you laid in the morning. This protocol creates a continuous 24-hour environment of growth. You are no longer giving your body permission to decline. You are overwhelming the systems of decay with superior biological information. By the end of the first week, many notice a subtle but profound shift, a feeling of density in their limbs that has been missing for years. By day 14, the goal is a measurable increase in your stability and a noticeable reduction in the effort required for simple tasks. This is the result of thousands of tiny cellular doors finally swinging open after years of being rusted shut. This 14-day window is your proof of concept. It is the evidence that your body has not forgotten how to be strong. It was simply waiting for a clear, loud command. You are reclaiming the right to move through the world with confidence, proving that while age is inevitable, the loss of your physical power is a choice you are no longer willing to make. Follow this path, listen to the newfound resonance in your muscles, and watch as your world begins to expand once again. However, even the most potent biological keys will fail if you continue to pour sand into the gears of your metabolism. The most common mistake made by those over 60 is the belief that these drinks are a magic shield that can deflect the damage of a poor lifestyle. The primary saboteur of muscle reclamation is refined sugar. When you consume sugar alongside these protein-rich or anti-inflammatory drinks, you trigger a process called glycation. This is essentially the sugar coating of your muscle fibers and proteins, turning them brittle and unresponsive to the very leucine you are trying to supplement. It is like trying to paint a masterpiece on a canvas covered in grease. The paint simply won't stick. If you do not eliminate refined sugars during this 14-day protocol, you are effectively neutralizing your efforts before they begin. Another critical error is the isolation trap. Relying on the drinks while remaining sedentary. These liquids are designed to amplify the signals sent by your body. If you do not move, there is no signal to amplify. Even a 10-minute walk after your midday drink creates the mechanical tension necessary for your cells to prioritize protein synthesis. Without that movement, your body may simply flush these expensive nutrients away. Furthermore, timing is a non-negotiable factor. Drinking your muscle-building whey on a stomach already full of heavy fats or complex carbohydrates slows down the absorption rate, blunting the leucine spike required to overcome anabolic resistance. Finally, we must address the boundaries of nutritional intervention. While these drinks support everyday age-related muscle sluggishness, they are not a substitute for emergency medical care. If you experience a sudden, dramatic loss of strength, specifically on one side of your body, or if your muscle weakness is accompanied by sharp pain or localized swelling, stop the protocol and see a doctor immediately. These can be signs of neurological issues or vascular blockages that require clinical equipment, not tea. True health is knowing when to support your body's wisdom and when to seek professional help. Avoid these pitfalls, respect the biological timing, and you will ensure that every drop of this protocol goes exactly where it is needed, into the foundation of your strength. Reclaiming your strength after 60 is far more than a physical endeavor. It is a psychological reclamation of your future. For many, aging is viewed as a slow retreat, a series of closed doors and shrinking possibilities. We are told to accept the weakness, to get used to the shaking hands, and to expect the loss of our stride. But the deeper lesson here is that your biology is not a fixed script. It is a dynamic conversation. Every drink you choose, every walk you take, and every test you perform is a sentence in that conversation. By choosing to intervene with targeted nutrition and disciplined habits, you are telling your body that the story of your strength is not over yet. You are asserting that your independence is worth the effort of understanding the complex chemistry of your own cells. The profound realization you must carry forward is that normal aging is often just neglected biology. Your body has an incredible capacity for resilience, but it requires a different set of instructions as you cross the threshold of 60. You cannot use the map of a 30-year-old to navigate the terrain of a senior. The practical application of this knowledge begins with the small win strategy. Do not wait until you feel completely withered to start. Start tomorrow morning. Perform the 30-second stand and sit test to establish your baseline. This isn't about being perfect, it's about being aware. When you drink that first glass of whey or that warm cup of bone broth, do it with the conscious intention of feeding your autonomy. Integrate these habits into the architecture of your day so they become as automatic as breathing. If you find yourself slipping, return to the test. Let the data of your own physical capability be your North Star. If you can stand up one more time this week than you could last week, you are winning. If your legs feel a little more grounded when you walk to the mailbox, the protocol is working. This is how you stay in the game for the long haul, by treating your health as a precious investment that yields the highest dividend of all, the ability to live life on your own terms, with your own strength for as long as possible. Which of the 3 drinks mentioned, whey with cinnamon, bone broth, or pomegranate juice, do you think would be the easiest for you to incorporate into your daily routine starting tomorrow? Please share your thoughts in the comments so we can all learn from each other's experiences and preferences. If you found this guide helpful, please subscribe to the channel to support us in creating more in-depth content for your health journey.